suitcase of Bull there. We changed it a bit in the concepts, but that's what you see here on the screen. It's like the turnaround of Bull.
That's awesome. Just a quick thank you to everybody for tipping. I just see them coming in. Senan and Merkules for the 30. Bengu, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Mustiaki, somebody asked, I want to start drawing digital. Do you think I should start with Samsung or Apple? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Ooh. I did a promotion for Samsung, I think about 2 years ago on their new tablet. I'm not sure what it is. I'm more of an Apple environment. Like everything I have is from Apple, so just changing it up is a bit difficult. So I think that's something to keep in mind. If you have Apple products, then maybe the integration could be a bit of laggy sometimes. But most of the things work for both. I think the tablet for the Apple, I'm drawing here on the iPad Pro, and it's pretty good. Like it's a smaller field than I was used to. This is a Wacom tablet from 2011. What I like about the tablet for Apple is like the whole touchscreen element of it, which this doesn't have. So I have to do everything with pen and mouse and everything with that. So it's no touchscreen. But for the Apple, it was pretty good. I had to adjust it a bit. Like it's a totally different pen sensitivity on it. So it's kind of getting used to the whole sensitivity of it. For Samsung, it was also a bit different than Apple itself. But I think if you have a good pen flow, and I think you know that surfing, I think it's very, very relatable, right? If you have a good board flow, then and you know what you stand on, I think you can skateboard, you can surf. I think that's a bit the same with the pen flow for these tablets. If you try to find a way to make it work, and it's all about making the mouse, then you get used to it, and then it's okay. So for Samsung or Apple, I don't have any preference. I just work with Apple, and that's what I love to work with because I think the whole ecosystem is good. But I don't have a preference for that.
Nice. Are the horns on Bull's head real or like a headband? I think they're real. Right?
No, well, the first thing, when I came up with the concept, it was like a diadem, like when you place it on your head. But maybe we can, it are horns. We don't know. We haven't developed the story that far, so maybe it could be.
Nice. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you all for tuning in. You can see the master at work, drawing, Bull, hang out. If you guys have questions, feel free to shoot them in the chat. Fun to have you guys here. Let me just see. I think we're number 2 right now of all streams on Abstract. So that's pretty cool. Thank you all for joining, man. Wish we could see the viewer count. I'm pretty curious. Yeah. They will fix that soon for sure. I think we'll stream here probably for about 30 minutes or so, Mustiaki. I don't think you have time, right?
Not much yet.
Stick around somewhere in the middle. We'll probably do, maybe a giveaway or something. So just stick around with us. Hang out a little bit. If you have questions, feel free to shout. Is there any whitelist you have left? Yes, 100%. There's a lot of left. Our community still has to be allocated, and we're slowly moving towards that phase. So try to roll up in the Discord. I love Boo, and I have a question for Mustiaki. Gradinsky, my good friend, who has been like crazy yesterday. Thank you still for that. And feel free to ask. I know you're Dutch as well, right? Our Dutch friend. Thank you, Not Payman, for the 11 Pengu.
Yeah, guys, let me check some of the remixes that you guys have, actually. Maybe you guys can drop them in Discord now, or share a link or something.
Just watch out with links, Jeff. These crazy people out there. Thank you, Hendrik, for the 5 pengu. Make her Latina. Bredinsky is from Alkmaar. That's nice. We're from Den Haag. Are whitelists only available on the Discord? Could creating or art help? Yeah, definitely. I think in general, we're trying to incentivize people that are participating in the brand, right? So whatever your skill is, try to get the team's attention, create something cool for the brand, and yeah, I'm sure that the team will give you roles. Honestly, we the brothers have stepped out of that and gave responsibility to the community team, so that they're in full control of that. Yeah, we're doing our best to get everybody involved that is trying to provide value. My half Indonesian brothers, Murky.
Yeah, man.
Why not answering thoughts? Yesterday, somebody said we'll have an 888,000 at some price. We clarify reality. I would say, real news will always come from our announcements channel or our Twitter, right? And so just don't believe anything till we have said it ourselves. It's a rumor. People have been spreading that, and so wait just till we announce it. Yo, Kredinsky, what the hell? Did you saw that, Jeff?
No, I was actually looking up the music playlist.
Mr. Kredinsky just tipped us 2,000 pengu.
No way. Thanks, man.
Thank you. That's so kind. Thank you so much, man. And Kredinsky is also wearing the Bosu as a PFP. Do you guys want to see something fun as well? I don't know if I can share my screen and just steal the spotlight for a second. These guys see my screen now?
Yeah.
Look at this.
That's crazy. That's so weird to see, man. That's so crazy. Yeah, we ducked. I just opened up your playlist. Gonna listen to it now.
It's so weird. AI is gonna make things so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's my favorite anime? I think it's difficult, but probably Death Note or something. Yeah.
You said Sailor Moon. You said last week. What?
And Sailor Moon.
Yeah, Death Note is good, man. It's been a while since I watched it, but I think it's
I think like Death Note was the one, like, but there's so many great animes, right? But they all have like a different thing, right? But with Death Note, it feels so. I was like at the edge of my seat the first time I was watching it. Right, you had to watch the entire thing, but it was such a different vibe of an anime. But I remember like the first time JJ showed me Naruto, and also with One Piece, it was that actually like, and that was, I think like there were only like 100 episodes of One Piece or something back then. And he showed me like, no, you have to watch this. You have to watch this. And I was like, nah, yeah, I don't know, man. And then I put it on and I was like blown through this entire thing, right?
Yeah, I remember
then,
like
I had like this Beamer, right? And played on the Beamer, and then
really yeah. Wow, the Beamer. Wow.
Yeah. The Beamer times.
I remember we were working in my office at home, and we were still working for our company back then. And then we were video editing, and then when I had Naruto on the side, and you were like, yeah, let me see Naruto. Like I'm just stepping in. I don't have to see it from the beginning. And it was
I remember that.
Or something. Yeah. Like the whole Sasuke operation when they tried to save him. Brother, you don't understand. You have to go way back. No, it's good. I'll start here. No. We're not gonna do that.
Yeah, that was sick.
Good old times. Yeah, it's crazy how that Naruto is that old. That we just watched it our whole lives, right?
Yeah. Did you grow up with it? Because I think like the first time I watched it, I think I was like 16 years old or something. Maybe a little bit earlier, like 15 or 16. So it's crazy that's like for so many years. But also like Full Metal Alchemist, because that's like a brother story. I love that as well.
Yeah, that was good.
Theo, I have to run and do some errands, guys. Love you all. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate you.
They can't understand.
Okay, can you play this on the stream? No.
Yes, give it to me.
Okay, I'll give you the playlist.
I can hear it as well. Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, I could hear it as well. Sounds good.
It's from Weed Doctor. He dropped it on SoundCloud.
Where do you send it?
I think it's amazing, guys.
But can I download it?
Yeah. No, you cannot download the music, but you can play it. Like if you're not sure how it works on the stream. I can play it otherwise from here, but you have to. But now there's some music in the background, right? Playing.
Yeah, because I uploaded basically the streaming platform, and then
Okay. Yeah.
I need to actually upload it if we can. If we can download it.
No, that's okay.
Because I also have to cut off JJ's sharing.
Yeah, JJ's stream because JJ's sharing, right? Like,
yeah.
But can you hear it when I play it from here?
Yeah, how you were playing it just now worked.
Just play it then.
What tablet is he using right now?
I'm now using a Wacom tablet, 21 UX, and it's from 2011. Really old.
We gotta upgrade that soon then.
Yeah, I think what I like very much about the iPad Pro is the touchscreen. You know, that you can just turn around, because now I have to press like Shift to hold it, and then I can turn it. But it's different. Like you can just manipulate. It's like Minority Report. You know, just.
When collab with Azuki? Well, in terms of collaboration, we've done some collabs with their Alpha group, but who knows? Love the Azuki team. So, hey, Kredensky, you keep on going, man. Thank you so much. Can we all and all the brothers go and let me make sure that all the brothers are gonna follow you. You're a Dutch.
I think, did I already follow
Kredensky? I dropped it in our WhatsApp, guys, so we can all give him a follow.
Great.
Thank you so much, Kredensky, for the donations again.
This is awesome, man. This track is called Respawn Express.
Nice.
I love it, man. Like music is such a big inspiration, but also for writing stories and all of these things. So incredible that people are remixing this.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Does anybody want to see me draw something different? Like, does anybody want to see something specific?
Thank you, not pay man, for the tips. Thank you.
Okay, let's watch. Let's listen to one other.
Epic.
He's got a whole playlist. The second track, Know Your Surroundings, Where Am I? And Is the Blood, Metora, Welcome Back to Life, Created Demo. It's really cool.
Just reading through the chat. I want to see Mostiaki's version of Itachi. Draw Itachi. Draw cat. Andre Nick says, fuck. What's up? What's up, Andre? Is content being moderated here on what can be written? Good question. He wrote fuck. I don't think so, because you wrote that. And that's a good question. It probably should in some way or form or shape. I'll pass it on to the abstract team.
Thanks for tagging me, Delt. I will listen to it as well.
Hey, Kredinsky, stop it, man. Another 1,000 pengu. You're feeding the Bosu brothers. Yes, soon.
I feel like
What's
building
that
up.
in the background? What's coming? What's coming? It's so unexpected.
Against the odds.
Movement rising, fierce and free. Final Bosu
Change what it's yet to be.
No limits hold, no borders, no walls. A dream awakened, a world untamed. Against all odds, we stake our claim.
Yeah, really cool, guys.
Oh, wow. Kredensky, I just sent you a DM with the thank you, dude. Appreciate you. Um, Merhab, thank you so much for the 100 pengu, man. You guys are very, very kind. Thank you all. Really appreciate it. Video of him drawing bull and I want to ask me to send me the drawing with only the outline of the mint so that I can have this reference. Ah, wow. I think we can definitely do that.
What up?
Kredinsky, let me know quick in the chat if it's okay if I can pull up this message. Else, I will just ask it privately to Mustiaki later. If I can pull up your message on the stream. If not, I'm totally fine with it. But are you sure? All right. Thanks. Mr. I just texted Kredinsky before. He's the guy that is just tipping us all the time. Fine, right? Double checking. Let me share my screen so you guys can see what he's asking me now. Because he was trying to ask JJ something. All right, here we go. Mustiaki, Gradinsky was asking, I just wrote him, dude, thank you. He said, sorry, Kev, for messaging you, but I want to ask Mustiaki something on the stream. I have a video of him drawing bull, and I want him to ask if he can send me that drawing with only the outlining after the mint so that I can have this as a reference for my next tattoo. This character became special to me because it reminds me of my mother who passed away 4 years ago.
Brother, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. It's at the same time it scares me and it's an honor at the same time. You know, it's always I've like a manga yourself. What I did, like the portraits of people that I drew. There were also a couple of persons there that made a tattoo of the drawing that I made. And that's it's always quite humbling, and at the same time, I'm like, whoa, that's dedication, man. That's really something. So yeah, I don't mind at all. Think about it twice. That's what I would say, because it's permanent, of course. But yeah, it's such an honor, man. It's such an honor.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you so
sorry
much.
to hear
Yeah,
about your mom, man.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's always tough. But yeah, it's beautiful that you find some resemblance there, and yeah, hopefully that it's off. It's this drawing, guys, that he was talking about, this video of you.
Right.
So yeah,
Cool.
no, 100%. We'll make that happen, Kredinsky, for sure. Where are you from, Kredinsky? I thought you were Dutch, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong. Bunya, thank you for the 100 pengu. Lots of pressure, Mustayaki.
I'm used to it. Used to it.
Make a one of Kredensky. She was very optimistic and positive, and she had a gray hair, and I already have some extreme tattoos, like the one next to my eye. I'm Dutch from Alkmaar. Ah, yeah, sorry, you just told it me, actually. Because we started speaking in English in the inbox, my mind forgot about it. But yeah, 100%. We'll make that happen for sure.
A special one too.
Seeing if there's some more question. How long does it usually take to finish one piece? One piece of what? Like one
The
drawing?
One Piece series, the One Piece series, never finished. It's going on for years.
Forever.
What's the One Piece?
Have you seen the like the meme of One Piece where somebody said like, what if the ending of One Piece is Oda Ochiro that wrote and created One Piece, that he just never ends, and he was like saying, the One Piece ending is somewhere hidden in a manga
Oh, that would
somewhere
be
in the
awesome.
world, you know.
Yeah.
You have to find it.
Go find it. Yeah.
Now it's yours. That would be so. That would be sick. That would be really crazy.
They're asking for some music. You have some music?
Yeah, but One Piece, it takes a pretty long time, right? Like it depends on what. Like I think the turnarounds are very, the turnarounds are really cool actually. But there's such an essential part to everything that's being created afterwards, because it's actually a reference point for other artists and other animators, for example, to work upon that reference point.
Yes.
So that one has to be solid, has to be good. Like it's almost like your library, right? Of
I would freak out if I would have to draw this all day long, man.
Yeah.
That really
I'm getting there.
My personality is down, dude.
No, but it's a kind of meditation form as well, you know. You just have to dig in and just let it flow for some reason. But it really depends. It really depends on the kind of artwork. Like these artworks, because they're four of them. I'm very detailed, you know. I really want to make things perfect, so I'm very perfectionist about it. So every detail has to match and has to be accurate. And sometimes I'm in some kind of flow state, especially at nights. Then everything just comes out really fast, and sometimes it just it takes a bit longer. But I think for this one, I think a couple of hours.
It's crazy actually that you're drawing that many hours always.
Yeah.
I don't even realize it actually often.
Yeah, and it's crazy that that JJ also he stopped drawing for quite a while, right? Like he stopped drawing for quite a while because when we were younger, I remember I was always drawing with him, right? Like we were always drawing together. I always wanted to match his skills. So for me, I actually became very good when I was younger in school. I always thought I was always the best in class, but it was always because I was just learning from him all the time, right? And afterwards, I stopped drawing at all, right? And I remember that when we were younger, he would always draw all these little things and little details, but it was mostly not from, because first you draw, you see a Spider-Man comic or something, right? And you draw the same Spider-Man.
Yeah, first
afterwards
copy.
you copy and that's something completely different. But then there was something from your imagination, you would draw, because I still have that actually. I have the first comic that you actually created. Do you remember what it was, JJ? I have it here. Yeah.
It's turtle comic? Right.
Yeah.
But I also have one in my basement, so I'm not sure.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
It's incredible, and I was a fan of that because it was the Turtles, but then it was your own, the version. The Turtles went to Disneyland, and the Turtles crazy stuff.
That's so funny. It was already fantasy then.
Yeah, it was already fantasy, but it was so cool to see what you can create, right? I think you were just 12 years old or something, 10 years old.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at what Mr. Kredinsky is making here.
Oh wow, love that.
What?
That's incredible, man.
That's super cool. He's gonna make the growth pad.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. That's really cool. especially like the final boss icon. I think it's really cool. Like
Yeah, it's such an iconic icon, right?
yeah. And we talked about it before. Like there's there are a lot of final bosses like in games, right? But what's the icon actually? when we talked about it, like what's the icon of a final boss? Is there like one icon, one emblem that you're like, yes, that's a final boss? I think that
Yeah, it was so difficult to craft. Like we didn't came up with a construct for very long. It's like really searching, and every time when I went to Google and search for images, always like a horn figure was popping up, and I was like, okay, it has to be something with horns, you know, because that's something really iconic, like devilish almost. But then it has to change to something else.
I think it's really cool. What are the triangle structures above the final boss head?
Yeah, I think it's just trying to. Sometimes you just draw from stylization and try to create something that eventually could lead into something else.
Yeah.
And I know that with these triangles, like the pyramids and triangle shapes, it always has some mysterious things, right? It's always like that 3-point structure in it that always works for some reason, like always having 3-point references. And I think the pyramid, Illuminati or whatever. Hey,
Nami.
Oh, this is like
Isla Nami. Here we have Nami, guys.
backed up by 2 cats.
Like the FinalBosu stream. All the bosses in the chat. Tiny Naruto. Now this is Nami. This is Naruto's sister. Naruto is not home. He's sleeping on a friend today. Yeah. Go bring you back.
Yeah, I think the final boss, like the triangles above his head. I thought like the one in the animation was pretty cool as well, right? Because they're like floating on top of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Floating.
And it like gave that weird vibe that they're like floating there, and he's like turning around, and they're like floating on top of his head. I think worked out pretty well actually in animation.
Yeah.
Scrooge. Oh, hi, baby. Hello. I always say that to babies. Her second name is Nami.
I was looking for the T-shirt you guys gifted me with the no final boss on it.
Ah, yeah.
Couldn't find it. It's in the watch. Let me bring close my stream and bring DJ up. Nami, yes, Nami. When is level 6 opening? Soon. I think. Yeah, we'll do some updates soon on it. Mustayaki and Jeff, do you have children? Mustayaki has 2 kids as well.
Yeah. I don't have any kids.
Jeff's not. Dusty Mind asks, are there any classical, traditional artists, painters, past or present, who have inspired you, or whose work you particularly admire? And maybe even beyond artists, maybe some filmmakers, right? Who are some inspiration to you guys?
Yeah, I think filmmakers for directing and for visual storytelling. I think Spielberg is the obvious choice. I think Quentin Tarantino also has a particular style, you know, in directing. I think that would. Yeah, can you name other
I think like directors is very easy, like Tarantino, of course, like, and Rodriguez. I think Robert Rodriguez also, because he. I think that what inspired us when we were younger as well, like that most of those, like Tarantino and Rodriguez, they worked with very small budgets, right? Like they were really guerrilla filmmaking style, like just grab the camera and get a bunch of people together and make a movie, you know? Like it's like a very intimate set. And they were like speaking to a younger audience as well, like, hey, you can just do this. You can just make a movie, right? You can grab a camera and do it. And that inspired us. Rodriguez wrote a book, Rebel Without a Cause, I think.
Yeah. That's right.
Loved that. Like when I was young, was such an inspiration to get into movie making. One of the things he always said, like, don't you don't become a film, you are a filmmaker, right? Like the day you decided you are a filmmaker, you are a filmmaker. And it was such an inspiration when we were younger to work on stories, to write, like to create scripts. And to have the belief, like, oh no, this is definitely possible. You can do this. So yeah, definitely from a younger age. But of course, like for directors, there's so many different ones that I love.
Yeah, and as a manga artist, I mentioned in the stream before this one is Tita Kube from Bleach. I really like his art style. That's really amazing. But also Masashi Kishimoto from Naruto. And they have very, very different particular traits, you know, to creating manga. Tita Kube is really more the line work, which is really, yeah, for me it's so perfectionist as well. But he draws so easily. I'm not sure how he does it. And Masashi Kishimoto uses like these lines as for screen tones, like to get the shading in there, and those were really easy to be made. So for I Put a Boy, the manga that we created before, I used a lot of that just to make it easier, you know, for the whole process. Don't make it too much time consuming, because those were pretty much easy to do. Instead of having screen tones, placing in there, searching for gradations, and cut it out, and then you have something. It's just very easy to create some lines in there that would have the same effect, or maybe even a cooler effect, like sketchy. But yeah, in the end, I think everything has its own starting and closing period. You know, I think Masashi Kishimoto did that for maybe 10 years ago for that time, and I think now it's mostly from everything that I see from other styles in the Web3, for also new animation that's coming up, like One Punch Man or Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer, especially. Like Demon Slayer has really those really thick lines in their artwork. I really like that. You know, it's so popping as well, and so dynamic. Yeah, I really love that one.
Love that. Guys, we are officially the #1 stream at the moment on Abstract.
Yeah, let's go.
Not payment, scene attack, an address. You need to update your name if you want to get a shout out. Thank you for the 200 Pengu as well.
Do you like Nolan? Yeah, I love Nolan, man. Like the
Yeah.
first time.
Oh man, we forgot Nolan.
No, I never forgot. It was always in the back of my mind, man. Like the first time when we saw Memento, I remember like it was incredible. Like, oh, what the hell is happening here? But then I remember like I saw Inception with JJ in the cinema.
Yeah.
And it
Jesus,
was
yeah.
like we were walking out of the cinema like, what the hell did we just watch? Right? It was incredible. We're like it was one of those movies that were like, for hours and hours, we just sit down and we're like reflecting on it. Like, what the hell, man? This was really good. It was such a mind-blowing experience that you have to see it again. I have to say, like, one of my favorite movies is Interstellar. So I love Nolan.
It already says how old we are when we starting with like, yeah, with Memento.
Memento, yeah.
When we saw that, man, as kids, you know, or teenagers. Yeah, then I was working in the video store when that came out. I believe, Memento.
Yeah, you were.
See if there's some more questions, maybe. I feel there's a spiritual journey behind what FinalBosu is. I like it. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. There's definitely or like At least, like, I think that that it came from for me personally, like the spiritual journey, and I think for all of us actually, as like a deeper part of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely. And I think like when you look at respawning, and I think we try to add all of these elements as well. Like you can have like a respawn element, and it's just like without the stakes. And we talked about it many times, like when a person dies and he just respawns and he's there again, right? That kind of seems lame to us, like if there's no stakes involved into it. And it should be like a whole, it's more of the cycle between life and death, and there are stakes. It's not very easy to get back. That's why as well, like the whole Metora and the Respawn Express, like there's a whole a dramatic element behind it, but it's also like the whole cycle of suffering and getting yourself out there again. The whole cycle of death and rebirth and suffering. Like, what are you going to do? Like, how are you going to define your life? What's the meaning of life? What does it mean to be a human, right? Like, what does this entail? Like, all of these questions, I think they're very interesting to explore, because there have to be deeper themes into the story for us to care about it, right? And I think that that's also like a part of why we think like FinalBosu as well. Like, when we're writing it, it comes from a level that we're like, no, we want to make something that's connecting with us, right? And that you feel like you want to create something that has like a deeper meaning to it, that you would love to see, right? And I think like these, even if you say like Inception, or even if you have movies of Quentin, like there's such a big inspiration towards us. Spielberg, which you mentioned, like it's such a great filmmaker, that you grab all of these different elements and merge it with anime elements as well, right?
Yeah, I was writing it down because there's so much into FinalBosu as well, and it was also, I knew 3 years ago when we came up with the concept, we were looking for where we begin the story and how should we connect it with Web3 and especially with the world and where the evolution of the future is taking us. And then I had to write it down, like because there's so much into it that I just forget, like all the time. And I wrote down like respawning is like a reincarnation, you know. I think that like you talked about. I think the other one is lost memory and recollect it again. It's like returning to the source at the end of your life cycle. It's like if you have a strong belief in the creator or God or whatever it may be for you, the force, or and if you get here in this life for just this glimpse of a moment, if you look at the history of how long the universe is been there, you know, or is being here, and we're just like this little dot in nothingness actually, and just a moment. I think that's very good to know that we came from something. This is a dimension that we can touch, that we can experience with a lot of emotion, and then we, at the end of our life, we turn back, you know. In my belief, like that's what I believe, and I think that's a bit like in there. And I think also our way of coping with technological evolution as well, because there's a lot of hints here and there in FinalBosu in the world. So it's in this age that we're in now with AI and the whole evolution part. Like, I think there are so many people that are a bit of worried, you know, like what is AI going to do? And it's a topic that can be discussed enough, because at one side it's good, you know, it has a lot of advantages, and at the same time it's like, oh, it's taking over jobs, and it's going so fast and such a rate that we don't know where it ends up in. And I think that the feeling that's collectively there in the world, I think that's also something that we try to capture a bit, like it's the fighting against the machine and the matrix like kind of theme. And I think also the foundation of the world, we didn't get into that a lot, but it's the coding that we have as a metaphor for science and stuff. But yeah, that's later to explore. And I think the other one, and that's a bit obvious, which we already talked about, is the final bosses. You know, it's the inner journey to your hidden past experiences. And that's, I think that part, like the whole growth aspect, personal growth, and you evolve if you look into yourself and look in all those things that are there from your past that we probably don't know, or have we forgotten a bit. Like when you grow older, it's getting layered, you know, with all these kinds of experiences and different kind of memories that fills it up. It's all a bit of noise in between, but the core that's always there is probably from your upbringing, and to dive into that, and especially for the characters that are going to portray that is going to be, in my opinion, really amazing, that I've never seen done in any other story before. Like there are some like backstories that you have in anime, of course, like flashback to something, but really dive into it and have it as a mechanism there to bring the story forward, and at the same time as a point of growth and power as well. That's
interesting because Kitana says like like, what message do you aim to convey with each character's arc? And first of all, like I really appreciate your because in Discord you've been around like for such a long time, right? And you wrote so many, like you were such a big part in all of the quests before. Like I think it was already like a year ago or something, right? And when I was reading your answers, and I don't always respond in Discord to all of the messages that are there, but I read like most of them, and you're a very good writer, actually. Like the way you think about this, the way you think about the storylines, and ask like the questions that you have inside of your mind. I think it's all like, what questions can you come up with, right? And can you find like the deeper hitting meaning in it? And it was always awesome how you responded towards like what respawning actually meant, or like what the stakes are when you lose your memory, right? I think you went pretty in depth of like, how does that feel, right? Like when somebody loses memory, how bad it actually is, right? Like what the stakes are if that actually happens. So it's a very good question as well. Like, what message do you aim to convey with each character? I think it's very interesting because the growth path is such a significant part of the universe that we like the growth of every character has to be worked out from the beginning till the end almost. Like it's a very difficult challenge for us when we looked at like the different character lines that we have to start at the end, like who are they actually becoming, right? Like even with the growth path, because they have like different nodes, different traumas, different growth elements in there, we have to figure out like, okay, where's their start point, where's their end point? And so every single character has one. And for example, Sandy, one of the characters that Kevin mentioned many times before, is based on our dad. Like one of his arcs has all to do with identity, not feeling a sense of belonging, because like our father, like when he came to the Netherlands, like when he got like kidnapped and dropped here, for him it was a whole journey, like to find out like who is he actually, right? He was just a kid being dropped in another country. He doesn't really feel he didn't really belong to Indonesia anymore. He's not really Dutch. So who is he, right? He's got blended in both worlds, and he doesn't belong anywhere. And I think this is a very relatable story in the form of identity for a lot of people, right? That you don't feel your place, not where you're actually from, or not where you currently are. So this whole identity part, and for Sandy, of course, it's a fictional character, so it also has to do with a lot of that he's like a more of an evil character and a good guy at the same time. So it's like this identity split between those. And I think you can dive into like the whole cliche part of it, like, oh, he's like a good and a bad guy, or you can like find the deeper meanings into it. And I think we're interested in like finding like the deeper messages that haven't been told about identity many times. So that's the part for Sandy, for example, that we're exploring. Like, that you can be like a good and a bad guy in a sense. Sandy's quite a bully. Our father was quite a bully as well. Like, but he was also the man with the biggest heart, right? And I think that the combination of those is very interesting in real life characters. That, and I think that Japanese anime is incredible in this. Is that they don't really define characters that simple as like American stories sometimes. There's like, oh, he's evil, he's the good guy, he's the bad guy, right? And there's like a mix. If you look at Attack on Titan, I love that you have like that you find out like, oh, he's from Marley, and then after a while you start to think of like, oh, what's actually the right way of doing things, right? And you find out like Aaron yeah, perhaps that perspective wasn't like really valid. Maybe he's crazy, maybe he's not, right? And you go on a journey with these characters, and you don't really have a sense like putting your perspective or judgment on these characters, but you really explore like the deeper meaning behind it.
And I think it's also very a great tool to when you get to a point in the story where you use it in two ways. Is one for creating the depth and the personality of the character, and at the same time develop the story further. I think that's really something.